The Real Deal. What's up guys, Jake from The Real Deal Airsoft, and we're going to be doing an exciting build for my buddy Ricardo. Shout out to Ricardo. And let's take a look at what we're rocking with. He has a G&G ARP9 that we're going to be upgrading for a tournament coming up called the Airsoft Pro League. Be sure to check that out. He has a Perun Mosfet. It's an optical Mosfet inside, but it's not working right now. But if that doesn't work, we're going to throw a gate aster. And we're doing the full overhaul, so we're throwing in gears, cylinder head, piston head. We're going with some ASG Ultimate ceramic bearings, steel ball bearing guide plug. We may or may not use this depending on the angle of engagement. You already know 22 TPA CCI high torque motor, and my piston of choice, the 14 tooth high speed piston. We're going to be epoxying the steel tooth rack, and yeah, so this is going to be an exciting build, and we're going to walk you through the steps one by one. So let's get to opening this. Voila. As I took this thing apart, I noticed that the nozzle is jammed back and there's no play. That's not a good sign. This airsoft gun wasn't firing. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to take a look. But guys, check out this Mad Max hop-up unit with the tracer unit. Really cool stuff. Alright guys, we got to the gearbox. One thing I noticed is that usually I open the gearbox from this side, but the screws are on this side. Alright. We're going to open up the gearbox. No quick change spring system. Prepare your wrist. Alright guys, this is the inside of the gearbox. We're going to get to changing out all the gears and shimming the motor height and the gear height. So let's get to that. Alright guys, we're going to be throwing in some SHS gears, new bushings, and the motor height. So once all these things are inside the airsoft gun and they've been shimmed, we'll get right back to it. Alright, we just epoxied the new bearings in, because they weren't a tight fit, so we had to put some epoxy, and now they're in there like swimwear, you heard, and we're gonna get to all the shimming and the gears and all that stuff. Alright guys, so now we're getting to setting the motor height. Alright, so the motor height inside there is pretty low, and we're also seeing how much play I need to shim the bottom bevel. So once we get all those specs figured out, the AOE for the beveled pinion will be perfect. It's a little bit low. It definitely needs to be a little bit higher. Alright, so we're going to fix that angle of engagement, and once the bevel is shimmed, then I'm going to shim everything else off of it. Alright guys, we just shimmed the top of the bevel gear. Now we're going to go to the sector gear. This is exactly what you want to see, man. This is a good shim, spinning for days. Alright guys, we just got done shimming the gearbox. Way too popular. Alright guys, I just assembled his new compression system. We epoxied this whole steel tooth rack, and let's test out the compression with this Mad Max cylinder head. That's perfect air seal. Literally can't even budge it. Literally can't. Alright, so we're gonna rock with this. This is a beautiful setup. Alright guys, so as you can see here, the angle of engagement is relatively like perfect. This is with the piston in the most forward position. Alright? So if I were to install a servo pad, this angle of engagement would be a little bit too far back. But with the piston in the most front position, we have the perfect angle of engagement right there. Yeah, perfect. Alright guys, let me bring you to a little update. We ran into an issue with this with the gearbox. The optical Mosfet that we're running, the Perun Mosfet, it is not firing, but upon arrival when we got the AEG, it wasn't shooting. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to take a pause. We're going to have to go pick up a gate aster Mosfet, and we're going to throw it in. So that's what we're going to do, and that's where we're at right now in the process. So basically all the internals is put inside, everything's been shimmed, motor height's been adjusted, everything's installed. Just the one thing we have to do is now we have to take out that optical Mosfet, and we're going to be putting in the gate aster. So stay tuned for that guys. Alright guys, let me give you an update on the Mosfet situation. So we had to take out the Perun Mosfet, alright, and we put in the gate aster. We did all the modifications necessary to the gearbox and to the selector plate, all that good stuff. So We're gonna go ahead and throw the gears, close it up, program it, and test it. Guys, so we finally got around to the programming and everything's good. Let's see the trigger. Pretty sensitive, man. This Mad Max is working great with the Aster. I was a little bit nervous about it, but it seems like everything's okay. Let's check the diagnostics and see if there are any issues at all. We have the selected programmed. No, there's no issues. All right, got the trigger, select this program, no issues with that. I'm gonna move the plate. All right, let's put the airsoft gun back together, and I'm curious to see this G&G ARP9's final result. Let's see it. All right, real dealer, so we assembled the lower receiver, and let's see how the Mad Max trigger works with the Gate Aster. Let's check it out. Alright, seems to be working good. After this, we'll do the Chrono. Alright guys, we're going to be chronoing with 0.2 BBs and a 26 milliamp 11.1 Li-ion battery. Alright guys, so that pretty much wraps up this custom G&G ARP9 build. I'm pleasantly happy with the trigger response. Be sure to check out the description below for the entire parts list. The only thing stock in here I think is the anti-reversal latch and the tappet plate. That's about it. So if you have any questions on how to achieve something like this in your own build, feel free to message me on Instagram at therealdeal.airsoft or leave a comment below. Stay tuned for more builds just like this, and let's keep learning, guys. Until next time, see you on the field. The Real Deal.